What's up, guys? Welcome back to Gen Z Garage. Today we're going to be putting a gooseneck ball on my 2022 F-350. So this is the kit we're going to be installing. It's from BMW, and it is the GNRK1116 will be the part number on that. Before we get started, I got to get the box out of the back and the bed liner. So let's go ahead and get started on that. All right, we got the box out. Now we're about to rip this bed liner out. All right, I'm just gonna put some ramps underneath it so it'll be easier when we work underneath it. All right, so this is the general mock-up of how it's gonna sit underneath the truck. It's basically like this will face towards the front of the truck. This will be towards the rear. These plates right here, if you have the two-wheel drive model, it might not have the inner plates already, and they provide those as well. These are the inner plates that will go on the inside of the frame rail. Our next step would be to drill the pilot hole in the bed and then the 4-inch hole with our hole saw, and then get started on the rest of it. Be sure to reference the instructions when you're measuring. If you have the 2017 to the 2020 model, it says to measure 45.5 inches. That is if you have the short bed. 45.5 inches from the back of the bed on the lip, measure from that. But if you have the 2021 and newer models, there's a little dimple where you're supposed to start the pilot hole, so just use that, and that'll be at 45.75. All right, we're gonna get started with this pilot hole. All right, so we got the pilot hole drilled. Now we're gonna go ahead with the 4-inch hole saw. All right, so we got the hole in the bed. Now we're gonna go take a half-round file and get all the little burrs off this. All right, after we deburred it, now we're about to just put a little bit of touch-up paint on the edges. I'm probably gonna hit that too. I'm gonna put a spray and bed liner in this pretty soon, so that won't matter. But aluminum can still corrode, so we're gonna take care of it. Good job.
It's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
All right, next we're gonna install the side plates. This is the outer plate. I just checked, mine actually doesn't have the plates on the inside welded, so we will be using those. I'm gonna stick these through first with the bolt and washer, and then we'll hold it from the outside and stick the inner plate in there too. All right, so now we're putting the inner plate in. I should mention the two plates are on the driver's side and the passenger side. They're not the same size. The longer one goes on the driver's side for both the inner and the outer plates. They're longer. Okay, there we go. All right, now we're gonna get the washer, lock washer, and nut started on one side. All right, now the back side. Now we're gonna get the washer.
Yeah, I can see
lock washer, a nut on the back side. All right, we're just gonna hand tighten all this for now. All right, now we're gonna do the passenger side. Same thing, just it goes up and then 2 holes right there. Watch me just stick it through the complete wrong holes. That'd be hilarious. All right, now the inside plate. I'm gonna put the lock washer and nut on again. All right, next we're going to be installing the 8 threaded bushings into the plates that these sit on. This is going to sit on the back on top of the side plates. So we're going to get those installed. Hello. Finally. All right, the next step is going to be to install these cross braces. They sit over top of the frame rail brackets we installed earlier. This one goes towards the front. This one will sit towards the rear. All right, so this one go towards the back, driver's side. Snake it back. Grab a bolt. These already got thread locker on them, so you don't have to worry about that. Get it started. Careful not to cross thread it. It'll only go in a couple turns before you hit the thread locker, but you'll be able to tell if it's cross threaded or not. Then we'll get the rear one. Slide it over. Alright, now start the bolts on the outside. Okay. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and do the passenger side. Pretty much the same thing, just the brackets look a little bit different, but that one will go in the front, this one will go in the rear. All right, snake this one into the back. Passenger side is significantly easier.
I need you to stop what you're doing right now, hit pause, and go down and subscribe and hit that like button and share it with 2 friends. We love what we do at Gen Z Garage, and we do that thanks to our subscribers.
Only got a few pieces left. The next piece we're going to put in is this front crossmember piece here, and it sits like that, with that being the front of the truck. So this will go on the passenger side, driver side, and then it gets this little extra plate on it too that we'll put in there. So let's get started. All right, so we go in with this our cross member here. And go ahead and get the short 1.5" by 5/8 bolt with the washer. Bolt. Slide it through, and then grab your lock washer and nut and tighten that on there. I'm going to grab the 4" by 5/8 bolt for the other side, for the driver's side. Alright, got the bolt through on the driver's side. Now you take your rectangular washer and it goes on, and then your lock washer and your nut. And make sure when you put this in that you are careful on the way it's oriented, because it sits behind the right angle cross bracket on the driver's side, but on the passenger side it sits in front of it. So just be careful of that. And then this extra plate here is oriented like this. This bolt will go on the passenger side. It goes on the back side, or the front side rather. Alright, got that pushed through, and then your lock washer and nut. Alright, hand tighten that. Alright, next is the thick piece of rectangular stock here. And it just sits on the back side of these rear brackets here. If you're having trouble, just remember that it goes on the side without the weld on it. So not the front side. It has weld on it back here, but this back side. And it doesn't matter which direction you put it on, it's the same. It's going to get 4 bolts that are going to stab in this way, like that. Alright, so we're just going to kind of get 1 bolt started here to hold it. Alright. Alright, we got those 2 started. The other 2. Alright, got those started. Last big piece. It's gonna be oriented in the truck. This will be towards the cab. That'll be towards the rear. Easy. I mean, it'll only go in one way, but easy way to remember is just that the holes for the chain will be towards the rear for the safety chain, and the long bolts go in the front. They go in like that. And the short bolts go in the rear. All right. Get this thing up there. Put a lock washer and nut on it. And when you put that bolt in, be sure it slides through the little thin strip of metal that we put in there earlier. All right, we got 2 started in the back. Put these shorter ones in, and 2 started in the front, and get these shorter ones in the back. All right, there's one. Again, make sure you got your lock washer, flat washer on there. All right, got all those started. All right, last 2 4-inch bolts in the front. And then your washer, lock washer, and nut. Last one. Alrighty, got all the bolts in hand tight. We'll go ahead and tighten them all up. You want to start with these 2, 4, 6, 8 that are here in the middle, and kind of work your way out basically. Be sure you go up top and kind of check where this is, because this has a little bit of play in it. Make sure it's centered in that hole that we drilled earlier as possible. All right, we're about to start tightening up all the bolts underneath. But before you do that, make sure you come in here and just make sure this thing is as centered as possible in the hole that you drilled, because it has a little bit of play. Okay, so now we're going to start the tightening sequence. We're going to tighten all the bolts, and then we're going to go back and torque them. But we're going to start with the inner bolts, and it shows you this on the instructions, but basically we're going to tighten these, and then the ones on this side, and then we'll work our way out. Wow, you're the little devil, yeah. All right, now we're going to tighten all the larger fasteners on the middle cross members. For those 2 bolts there, we removed the bolts holding the exhaust on right here, and then one back. We removed those bolts. It was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 quick 10mm bolts to drop that down, and that gives you just enough room to get a wrench on those 2 bolts. All right, next we're going to do these the black bolts that had the thread locker on them that screw into the. I'm going to hop over and do the one opposite of it. All right, now we're gonna do the other two. Alrighty, now we're gonna just torque them all down and we'll be done with all the big bolts. So we just finished torquing all the bolts, and last two steps are to install the lever that operates the pin through the ball, and then the safety chain hooks. So we're gonna go ahead and back the truck down off one of the ramps and see if that'll bring this tire down so we have more space to install the lever. All right, so we got a little bit more space now. Basically, we're just gonna work this up and through at an angle and then straighten it up like this. Alrighty, that's in there. Now we'll put the two bolts in. Alright, last step is to drill the 4 holes for the safety chains. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and drill the 4 pilot holes for the safety chains. All right, we got the pilot holes drilled. Now we're just gonna drill them the rest of the way out. All right, last step is to install these springs on the safety chain U-bolts. The bigger end goes on first. All right, so we got the BMW turnover ball gooseneck hitch installed. Now let's go test it out.
Yo.
You gotta twist them.